I'm legit. I got a 1 on the card, so I'm very
That's
happy.
awesome, man.
Okay, so a couple other things that I want to talk about with hole in ones. So I threw out some polls on Twitter on at Bags Golf and simulator hole in ones. Caleb, how do we feel about those?
So I'm gonna go no, because I think it's the asterisk, like Evan was saying. I think if you have to justify it, then I don't know. I'm sure some people would count it, and like I guess you do you, but I don't know. I don't think I could. I don't think I could.
In the official tally, there no way, right? Like you can't say, yeah, I've hit a hole in one. But if somebody asks you, hey, have you got an ace? Have you ever hit a hole in one? You say on the simulator, like you'd be able to say something, but
I
does it
I would
count?
absolutely
No.
give the look of like,
I'd say,
okay,
but I'd say yeah. I wouldn't say yes. I've had a hole in one, but if somebody asked me, I'd be like, in the simulator,
just to see
I
if they
the
roll with
ball went
it.
in the hole, bro. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
You want to give me credit for sure.
Leave
Uh,
it up to them. I get that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense.
no, I couldn't say that I got a hole in one if it's on a simulator. Like I can't. I could. It's a cool story. I think it's impressive because simulators still take so much information based on your swing and the ball, ball flight and all that. And it's impressive, but like at the end of the day, you hit at a screen. You didn't hit a
Yeah.
ball into the hole. And there's so many factors that may not, like Caleb and I played in a simulator league over the winter, and the number of times that Caleb just absolutely bombed one in the middle of the screen and it didn't register, or the times I would chip and it like didn't register that as well. Like, okay,
Yeah.
this isn't perfect, clearly, so it can't count. It's a cool story. My buddy Chandler had one that his dad has a garage simulator, and he has one on a simulator, but I do not consider him having a hole in one.
Especially now that you've hit one, you're like, nope.
No
Sorry,
chance.
bud.
No chance. I always tell him like, congrats, dude. I also have a bunch of hole in ones on Tiger Woods PGA Tour video game. Like, but yeah. So simulators, yes, with an asterisk, but really no. I think is kind of the vote on that.
Yeah. And Evan mentioned another one.
Par 3 course.
The par 3 course.
Mhm.
Evan, you're not counting it if it's on a par 3 course?
Nah, man, it's the same deal. Somebody asks me if I have an ace, I'll say, before I say yes, I'll say on a par three course, like I did on a par three, did I hit my tee ball into the hole? Yes, but is it a hole in one?
I think it's a hole in one. I think it's a hole in one, but it doesn't mean as much. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you got 9 shots at it at minimum, right? So,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
even if they're different distances, they're all going to be somewhat similar.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting to be like, Owen and I, we have like the whatever little campground that's over here on the one side of Greenfield that has the par 3 course. Like that's one thing because it's probably not in that great of shape if it's still even going. But maybe at like a par 3 course like Myrtle Beach where they're keeping it up, that kind of thing. If
Or
I
like
was going to do it on a par 3, or the cradle, So I would, if I was going to do it on a par 3 course, I think I would want one with like a little bit more like stature behind it, I guess.
Yeah.
Not like
even
just your local.
Even like a decent executive course. Like there's a difference between like an executive course, a par three course, and a pitch and putt. Like pitch and putt, not a chance. Like,
No.
we might as well count putt, but like on a legit, if it's over 100 yards, I'd be a little more lenient in calling that a legit par or a legit hole in one. Like I feel like that's a little more big boy.
Would you still like so let's say it is one of those top courses, or Myrtle Beach or whatever, right? Would you still throw out like I have a hole in one, or would you throw out I have a hole in one but it's on a par 3 course?
There's still a qualifier there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm gatekeeping on the hole in ones.
Yeah, dude. You have every right to. I mean, you're the first Bags member since Bags has started to hit it, so you get that reign.
I'm trying to think of a name for like the Bags Ace Club or like above average Ace Club. I don't know, some like just some name.
You're in
We'll
the
come up with
bag,
one.
bro. You're in
In
the
the
bag.
bag. Okay, there we go. Shout out Evan for that. Okay, we talked about. Oh, this one is a little. The poll on Twitter is surprising me. Would you
If
rather
it's yeah,
have a hole in one? Doesn't matter, just like I did on that, during a round. We won't talk about simulators or part 3 courses, or an albatross over 200 yards.
that one
Ace.
surprised me on Twitter too. So, Evan, you're going with an ace?
Absolutely. Yeah. I
That's
get
my boy.
the albatross is like rarer, but you can't walk up to I got an albatross, man. It doesn't mean the same.
Well, because I feel like half the people wouldn't even know what you're talking about. Like,
yeah,
for
no,
the
exactly.
longest time, like if I hadn't played Tiger Woods golf, growing up, it's like, what is an albatross? Or, because they pop up those little fun facts about golf, -3 on a hole is either a double eagle or an albatross. So,
And
I
at the end of the day, did you it only took one shot. Like
yeah,
that's the
exactly.
novelty behind it. That's it. That's what matters.
Because even
Yeah.
like on a par 4, right, you're still hitting a
Mhm.
hole in one on a par 4.
Yeah.
So I'm not calling it a double eagle or an albatross on a par 4. Absolutely not. I'm calling it a hole in one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is like, to the average person, like you said, Evan, like I had to explain to my wife what an albatross is. I don't have to explain what a hole in one is because it's one. So
Exactly.
But 54. Now it was early. Early on, it was like 87% of people said albatross over 200.
That shocked me.
Shocks me as well. But now it's 54, so it's kind of evening up a little bit. But still, 54% of people saying an albatross 200 plus yards. I'm ace all the way, and
Absolutely.
too, so.
If I do make an albatross, am I keeping the ball? Yeah, but like I feel like the ace is just a bigger deal, man. It just is.
Yeah, because apart from a par 5, anything that's an albatross is a hole in one.
Yep.
So now I guess they do have those holes around the country. That's a par 6. So I guess if you want to get fancy with that or whatever, but I know I believe it's at Memorial Park in Newcastle for the ladies. It's like 620 yards, so I think it's like a par 6 for the ladies, I think. But for the guys, it's still a par 5. But still, like, I don't know. I'm still taking that hole in one.
Yeah, hole in one all the way. I'm very, very shocked by the Twitter response. Albatross is impressive. I mean, you're hitting into the hole over 200 yards. I'm not taking away from that, but if you had to give me that, like, I'll be chasing an albatross now because I have the hole in one.
To mark
because you already
list,
checked the ace off the list. Look out.
That. Yeah. So now I'm
that
I'm
would be your
for
argument.
albatross. Yeah. But I still would want to check off the hole in one more importantly, and I feel like just a sense of relief now that that's off and I don't have to chase it anymore.
He's a new man.
I think the one time
I just like I feel free. I feel like a new man.
It's because you're in the US of A, baby.
Born again.
Born again.
Yeah, I think
golfer.
the one time that I would use like the albatross, like I would use it personally, like as a joke, as far as if I were to ever get a hole in one on a par 4, then I'd be like, oh yeah, like Owen mentioned Arrowhead at 14, it's drivable. Like, oh yeah, I got an albatross on 14 at Arrowhead, and just wait for the other person to realize that it's a hole in one, and then you're like, okay, yeah, like I actually hit a hole in one. Like I think that's the only time that I would ever be like, oh yeah, I got an albatross, because I would much rather have the hole in one. So I would rather joke around with somebody and wait for them to figure it out. But yeah, it's just me.
Okay, 2 things. One's a question. Well, they're both questions. One's a hypothetical. What is your dream hole for a hole in one? And you can get as creative as you want. Let's just imagine that money's not an issue. You can play at any course in the world. What's your dream hole to hit a hole in one on?
Go for it, Ev.
Bro, like that's a really tough one. I mean, I think the natural thing, 17 at Sawgrass? Like, that's the natural answer, right? Like, it's just the iconic par three, Island Green. That's awesome. I feel like that's kind of just where your head goes. I mean, even though I'm sure tons of people have done it over the years, the amount of traffic that course gets, but I think that'd
Yeah.
probably be it for me, honestly, because it's just so recognizable. Everybody knows about it. That's it.
Yeah. So
I
I'm gonna.
have a connection to somebody. I've mentioned it on an episode before, but somebody I worked with, he played in a round with a guy. He has it on video and everything that hit a hole in one on 17 in Sawgrass.
See, like that's dream come true, man. That's
Yeah.
like that's as good as it gets.
So for me personally, I would put Sawgrass at number 3 on my list. So,
well, excuse me.
well, no. So here I'm gonna go 16 at Scottsdale,
Okay.
with or without the bleachers. Just
Yeah.
I've played that course. I hit it to 4 feet the first time. Like I'm wanting that one. Like that one's my number one. That would be amazing. Now, one that I just thought of earlier today that I don't know that very many people would think of, but how cool would it be to hit a hole in one on the 19th hole at Paynes Valley with Tiger's course? Like, would that be an official hole in one on the scorecard, considering it's the 19th hole?
That's a qualifier. I say that's like hitting it on a fishing putt, man. It's not a legit golf hole. That's you need a qualifier there, man.
Okay. I can understand that. But that would be my number 2 that I don't think very many people would think of. But that
would be awesome.
That would get the juices flowing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that one. So, but yeah, there is the qualifier with that, which is unfortunate because that's a really cool hole. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I think that Sawgrass and Scottsdale would be great, and I'm not gonna say no to those. But I think I'm personally between hole 12 or 16 at Augusta. Now,
I knew that was gonna go. Yeah,
I have a ridiculous amount of respect for Augusta. Like, I love the Masters. It's probably my favorite. I think this past year made it my favorite time of year. Right behind March Madness, or right up there with March Madness. And so I there's that part of it, but to first off be able to play Augusta is cool. But then 12 is so, like, it's destroyed people. Jordan Spieth, it destroyed Cam Smith this past Masters. Like, it's destroyed so many people. To say you got a hole in one on 12 would be amazing. And then 16 is iconic because that's where most people hit their hole in ones at Augusta.
Yeah.
So I'm between those two. I think I lean more 12 at Augusta, but I threw out the poll. Most people are saying Sawgrass and Scottsdale. I threw out Pebble Beach, number 7, on there as well. That's gotten less than I thought. 17% other, and then the other 17% say other. One person replying saying that 16 at Augusta would be their choice. But yeah, most people are saying Sawgrass or Scottsdale. 17 and 16 there.
Yeah, being that I've played Scottsdale, like, knowing the history, I'm just saying I have a tie to it now. Like, that's the one that I want.
There we go.
I get that.
Okay. Final question, and Caleb and I have been talking about this all week. I haven't touched it. What do I keep? What do I frame? What do I do with everything that I've done? So first and foremost, we talked about it a couple episodes ago. Do not get rid of the ball. That's like my number one. The ball's already in a Ziploc bag. I haven't cleaned it off. It still has the green mark. Yes, Evan.
Okay, so before we were talking about our worst fears, right?
Okay.
So my biggest fear, if I were to ever hit a hole in one, would be with doing it with just a crappy ball. That's my number one fear.
That's a good one.
I'm down to I'm hitting the ball awful. It's over water. Just give me that freaking Slozenger. I break
Yeah.
that out, and that's what I get my ace on. So that's going to be in the frame. Like that's
It's
nightmare.
the lady pinnacle that's at the bottom of the bag that you found in the
exactly.
field.
That's just all like cart path rubbed up and everything.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's my biggest fear. But we can proceed. I just want to get that off.
We've talked about that.
Yeah.
We've said like every time I play a par 3, I'm very particular in what I hit. I'm not 100% happy with what I hit. I hit a Vice Pro, which is okay. I'll take the
That's
Vice.
okay.
It could be a lot
That's
worse. And it's red, white, and blue splattered. So it's a cool ball, but I'm a TaylorMade guy through and through so far. Callaway, Titleist hit me up. I'm always looking for sponsorships here on bags. But anyways, so TaylorMade would be my top choice, but Vice, it's a cool looking ball. It's not scratched up. I'm happy with it. It's not a Wilson or a Nitro or anything like that. So
check out my hole-in-one ball. It's a Mojo. Get out of here, bro.
Okay, hold on. I would gladly hit a hole-in-one with a Mojo, dude. Just to be like, I got my Mojo back. Like recreate that awesome video, but with golf.
Right. Well, but regardless, the ball is already sealed up. It has the green on it still from hitting the green. So I'm not going to clean it off. I have the scorecard. I had the glove. Now the glove is like I'm a little iffy on. The main reason I do is that it was time for a new glove. I knew that was my last round with that glove anyways. So it's kind of like
fortunate timing.
I'll just keep it. The biggest thing that Caleb and I have been going back and forth on is I hit it with my 56 degree. I haven't played with it or cleaned it off since, which has hurt me a little bit. Do I keep that club or not? Or do I keep it in the golf bag club. Or do I take it out?
Leave it in the bag, bro. That's too much.
Caleb. See, okay, so this is where Evan's going to be by himself because I'm predetermined. If I hit a hole in one with my 8-iron, like that 8-iron's coming out, that 8-iron is going up on the wall with the ball. If I have the tee, put the tee there, putting the scorecard there, and I'll just have to get a new 8-iron. Sorry, Amelia.
That's wild, bro. So so you have a set of clubs. You'll take a club out of that set, go on eBay, find somebody else's version of the exact same club, and put that one in the bag.
Yep.
It's not going anywhere anyway. Leave it in the bag. Once you get a new set, you set that one aside, and that's how you hang it. Just wait.
Put it in the coffin with me.
Oh my God.
It's not going anywhere.
I'm a little lucked out because I was kind of a budget golfer with my set of wedges. So I bought the Kirkland wedges, which was 3 of them for $140, which,
did you like them?
I love them. I hit a hole in one with one, so I love them. But no, they're great clubs.
Wink, wink, Kirkland.
Hit us up. I played the ball sometimes too, and the glove was Kirkland as well because shout out Costco. But I'm like, I could use a new wedge. I could upgrade to a TaylorMade wedge because everything is TaylorMade in my bag except for the wedges. So I could, get the MG3 or whatever is out now. I'm very back and forth on it. Like I said, my 56 degree, not having it has hurt me a lot in the past 2 rounds that I've played since that round. So I'm like, I need the club. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I'm either hitting it short or flying it, but I'm very back and forth, and you guys aren't helping the cause because Evan's like, dude, don't. But then Caleb's
it's a golf club.
Man,
that's what they're there
golf
for.
Club, Evan.
That's what they're there for. Oh my God. I don't know about
that. Okay, well, to be determined what I do with that club. I do like the idea of hanging it right here and then having the the ball and all that kind of in a
making it look like the setup. Gluing the ball to the face, that way it's always there.
I can't do that. My wife asked me about like setting it up in a shadow box. I'm like, I don't want glue on it. I don't want anything. Like, I don't care if it rolls around. I don't want to mess up that ball in any way.
Yeah.
So, all right. I don't know. It's gonna take some more thinking on whether or not I take it out of the bag or not. Is there anything else? I feel like that's kind of all you can really take from that. I have the scorecard. I have
So,
the ball.
yeah.
I mean, some
Well,
places will give you the flag from the pin. Like
I
that'd be
know.
pretty
That's
sweet.
true.
Is be able to get the flag. But I think the main ones you need obviously are the ball, scorecard, and the goob shot that you standing there with the golf ball. Number one,
I did it.
I did it. I mean, those are essential. That's all you need in my book. I'm not taking a club out the rotation. I think that's absolutely crazy. But yeah, I'll let you guys do whatever you want. It's a free country.
It's a free country. It is. Anything else you guys want to add from the hole in one perspective? I feel like we covered a lot in that. But
There was one thing that Evan kind of mentioned. I don't know if you caught it yourself, Ev, but so at Arrowhead, it's a great example. Owen was talking about the fifth hole. It maxes out at what, 85, 90.
Yeah.
So if you mentioned earlier, like one of your qualifiers is that it was under 100 yards. Are you keeping that
on an 18 hole par? You know, on a legit golf course, yeah. That's an actual hole in one. If we're playing a pitch and putt where the longest hole is 100 yards, probably not.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
I would not want. I'm glad I did not hit my first hole in one there. I'll say that.
Yeah, because everybody, it's only 85 yards.
Yeah.
I've had chip ins longer than that.
But that's the thing.
But
you need to know the course in order to play that card. You know, I don't know Arrowhead very well. So if you were to tell me, yeah, I got what hole number was it? 12, you were saying?
5. That one.
Okay, where did I get 12 from? But if I had an ace on 5 at Arrowhead, I wouldn't know any better. It's awesome, man. That's sweet. Good for you.
Yeah.
You know.
I just want to hear the end of it from my friends. That's
yeah.
For sure.
Like
the stooges
there would be respect
with.
They'd be like, oh, you got it on 5, like you could have putted that or whatever. So and it doesn't like the problem with that hole is it doesn't have a lot of depth to it either. Like it's straight, there's no water, there's like no uphill, downhill, like it's an 85, 90 yard hole that I think that they just, because it used to be a 9-hole course and then they needed an 18th hole, so they kind of threw it in. It was kind of, last minute thing. So yeah, but I'm glad I don't have to worry about it. Caleb, you do, but that's okay.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking if I have a terrible feeling that if I do get one or if I get my first one, whatever, it's gonna be on that hole when the pin is up in the front because of the slope there in the middle. Like it kind of levels off on the back portion of the green, but that front, that it's not a false front by any means, but there's definitely some slope there. And with teeing up my wedges, I'm a high spin player anyway, as far as my ball flight. So I know that if I hit the green, it's probably going to come back. So, it's going to be one of those where I'm throw it over the hole and then it spins back. Like I guess that's where I envision, my first one there or first hole in one, just because it kind of fits the shape of, or it fits the shot of my wedge. But, I saw that, on 16 at Arrowhead, you can also do that to where I hit it off the side of the hill and then it spun to the right and it lipped out. So that's, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Sorry, pal. Can't relate.
Can't relate.